All right, here we are with Barrel Rollers podcast number 3. We've got Wolve3591. Greet all the good people.
Hello.
KasualKevTV rejoins us, and for the first time, the one and only BrothersChris.
Hey, Chris.
Hello.
So
Welcome.
today, the third podcast, we're going to be first of all finding out a little bit about the enigmatic BrothersChris, and then we're going to be talking about what we do 3 times a week as a group, the 4 of us. The roller train should be a fun little discussion. But first of all, Chris,
Hello.
what's your story then?
Behind the sim
We're-
racing or
No,
gaming
we're
or
just in
life?
general, just in life. What's your story professionally? I guess is what.
Professionally, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I think a few people have heard a little jingle that describes, generally
I
what you
do.
do, but
Yeah.
I think the detail is very fascinating.
I will give you a brief background of where it all comes. It's quite ironic, actually. When I was growing up, my dad was a milkman, so and my parents were split up, so I remember when I was 12, 13, getting on the first bus to go and work on my dad's milk round on a Saturday. Then I had to find his milk round and to get on the milk float. So that was a very interesting experience to have at 12 or 13, getting on a bus, first bus on your own into Leeds city centre, which is a big city centre. So that's just a little background of what I did when I was young, and hence I think I made a decision when I was at school that there's no way am I working for anybody. I am running my own business. So I set a target. By the time I'm 30, I want to have my own business. And fortunately, I remember asking my dad, oh, Dad, can I come into business at 28? And he said no at the time. So I was very disappointed. And I remember him coming back to me just before my 30th birthday. I remember him saying, oh, I found this shop in Otley, which is in a Yorkshire town, a Yorkshire sort of market town anyway. So I went into business with my dad at 30, and that stems from where I like to build communities, because the job I work in is built around communities, and that's all I really sort. It's been drilled into me, even from when I used to work for my dad when I was a kid. He's always had his own business. My dad did, always, and I always used to work in his shops, work in his rounds. So, and he's always drilled it into me that communities build everything. So this is probably why I, as we get later on to ask some questions about the roller train, and we can obviously, hence where it all stems from, which we'll get across that a bit later, I suppose. But getting back to myself, so, and I bought a business. It was just a little corner shop with my dad, and I've built the business over, I think I've been in 18, 19 years now. Maybe
Yeah, wow.
20 years. So anyway, so yeah, so we do, and I've worked really hard. I remember running shop. My dad's passed away now, sadly, a couple of years ago. So I've got a new partner now. Went into a limited company, as you do as you get bigger.
Yep.
So yeah, so I'm a milkman really. I deliver milk and newspapers and magazines and breakfast goods to all the community. We've got over 1,000 customers. Well, we've got more than that. I think we've got about 1,500
Wow.
customers now.
Now, you're still
So, you know.
hands-on on the ground,
Oh,
aren't you?
Oh yeah. Well, it is. Yeah, it's real hands-on.
You
It is.
you get
always gotta
out
work.
every morning.
Well,
Pretty much.
Well, I'm 53 now, so I've had the business 19 years. So I'm saying to my partner, who's been in the business for five years now, I said, I don't want to do this anymore, mate. I'm 53.
Get some replacements
still-
in there
I
for
s-
the groundwork.
Oh well, fortunately for now, I'm just holiday cover, which is good.
Chris,
yeah.
you were telling me about the usage that the driver's side door of your cars get, because you've got to
Yes,
stop,
it's-
open, close, open, close, open,
Oh.
close, and you got to think that's also your bones, getting in, getting out, getting in,
Yes.
getting out of a car. It
I know,
cops
I have
exactly
thought
the
about
same
that.
usage, and you
It's
can't
actually-
just go down the Verekas and pick up another set of bones like you can a door and some hinges.
It's quite ironic. So sometimes I do get shoulder pain in there, and I'm always reaching back like that. So yeah, the door usage gets for each year that you use a door, I use about 35 years worth. So so after 3 years use, as doors has got about 120 years use, the doors do fall off eventually.
So that's your body as well.
Every car has been re-welded door if you've had it more than 2 years.
That is amazing, actually. That's
Chris,
unbelievable.
Chris, 53 going on 120.
Yeah.
Physical age.
feels like.
Oh,
It is a hands-on business. I love it though. I do. I love it. I've never got up any and think I don't want to do this. I just don't want to do this.
So you people following along at home who know Chris, and if you don't know Chris, you know, twitch.tv / BrothersChris.
I think this way all my fastness stems from my business.
Here's something,
the business
though,
has
Chris,
to be super efficient.
Here's something that's occurring to me more and more as we talk about this, right? By the time you get on to stream, by the time you get on to run your competitive runs, you've already been out driving around for a couple of hours. And then you get back in behind the driver's seat to race. So that's something else. Because I do my runs first thing in the morning.
That's where he takes his aggressions out. When he's done with the milk run, he gets in on the rig and tears it up.
It's quite funny you should say that, Wolve. I do feel when I get onto my stream, the first race is essential to the whole aspect of the stream. Yeah. I really, really have to go crazy and get all that adrenaline running and get it all out quickly. Otherwise, I think my thinking changes. I feel right. I'm ready. I'm ready now.
There's a huge psychological component, without a doubt. But
it's huge. The psychological is so huge. It's unreal.
This transitions really nicely into you know, the next thing we normally ask when somebody makes a first appearance on the podcast. And how did you even get into sim racing in the first place? Like, when did it start and why?
Well, me and my brother, you've probably heard or even seen my brother on stream. He does work from here as well. So, but I'm always been very competitive with my brother, or he's all been competitive with me. And he's a younger brother, so he's better than me at most things, which is, I think, pretty standard for younger brothers who are just 2 or 3 years between them. He's 3 years, three and a half years between them.
You get that initial lead when you're really young, and then it declines, and then there's a crossover point, and then it's always the other way.
Yeah,
it's always imbalanced.
So anyway, but I've always been better at driving games. That's always been a fact. I've always been better at driving games, and all stems back to Colin McQueen Rally, controller, keyboard, whatever. But when Dirt Rally 1 came out, I don't think I bought it for when it first came out. I think I waited about a year straight onto keyboard. I think the keyboard lasted about 2 days, if they were lucky. Straight to the shop, controller. Got controller. I don't think that lasted 2 days. Wheel. That was next thing, wheel connected to thing. Within 4 weeks, I'd made my own rig with a board, got one of my seats out of one of my donor cars, because I have that many cars that for my business. We've always got cars that we think, right, we're going to put that, and that's going to be a donor car. So I took a seat out of that, put it to a board, bought a cheap frame, and that's how I started off with my rigs. And that was when Dirt Rally 1 were out, end of Dirt Rally 1. But I didn't really get into it much then. I didn't really take it seriously at all until I met the barrel rollers, really. I did have a rig.
What was your primary racing game?
Dirt Rally.
Before Dirt Rally?
Yeah, no, I've never raced before that.
Ah, indeed.
Yeah, so I'm not in. This is something I really feel I need to get into. Which is great with the barrel rollers that do other racing games, and as you know, communities are great within racing games. So I do need to get some track racing in.
So you've had a very narrow focus then with rally in your intro to sim racing then. Interesting.
Yeah, that's probably why when you sometimes do alternate streams on a Friday, I think, no, Dirt Rally. Dirt Rally. I think I'll always stream Dirt Rally.
What was your first wheel?
First what, sorry?
What was the first wheel you got?
The first wheel was it's either the G9, I think it was the G20, is it G29?
One of those Logitechs.
Yeah, one of the Logitech ones, the ones that were compatible with PlayStation and
that's a G29 then.
Yeah, G29.
Wait,
it was alright, it was a good start wheel. It's a really, really good start wheel.
Did you start off on console, Chris?
No, I've always had PC.
Always PC.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Colin McRae Rally was on console, obviously.
Right.
I think,
Do you still play console, or are you strictly PC now?
No, I haven't got a console at all, Wolve. It's something I've
Gotcha.
been considering, actually, so maybe in the future.
Yep. Fantastic.
But, so yeah, so the G29 was a good wheel, I thought, for the first year, and then I upgraded to this one, this Thrustmaster TXXR Racer, which is probably top end belt wheel you can get, really. You see them all; they use them all in the sim competitions, I believe.
The PC
TSPC.
Racer or TSPC.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you're right. That's probably as on the Thrustmaster side. That's as high up as you go, and it's pretty much on par with the Fanatic Club Sport. In terms of.
I am looking to upgrade my rig now. I've actually thought about what I'm going to do in the future. I suppose everybody in sim racing is always thinking about what you're going to do in the future with your rig, because you just can't keep the same rig.
It's perennial.
If you're a sim racer, are you? So yes, I'm looking to upgrade, hopefully. So
how did you meet the barrel rollers? How did you come to the community?
Well, it's quite ironic. Well, I think it's just a similar story to everybody else. I started to stream Dirt Rally 2 when it came onto VR. I think I streamed a bit of Dirt Rally 1.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, of course we can, Ray.
BrothersChris was possibly the first or second Dirt Rally 2 streamer that I watched when I first came to Twitch. And I think I remember even how the initial conversation sort of went. I jumped in, and the main thing I was interested in back then was the different hardware people ran, and so it was almost immediately about hardware. I was asking about what wheel he had, what pedal set he had, and we talked a little bit about hardware. And I think it wasn't very long, Chris. I think it was maybe a week before you had jumped into my stream, and then from there, I remember we became friends like that. I think actually, I was even doing Rallycross at the time, and Kev was streaming before me. Kev's raided into me, and that was when I think Nathaniel Tragic first said hello in my stream, and then immediately after BrothersChris said hello, and the two follows came, and that was huge for me, because when I first started streaming Dirt Rally, like, Chris was one of those guys. He was somebody who was always on with Dirt Rally, had seemed to have an established sort of a group of people who would rock up, because I he'd stream Monday to Friday, and every night I'd jump on, I'd see similar, pretty much the same names. So that's what I remember from Chris with streaming Dirt Rally 2, and that was August 2019. But Chris, when did you start?
I actually had a look, not recently, and I think it actually started deeply about November 19. I think I took a little break after that, about a month or 2 months. I can't remember. I'd have to look back at my Twitch stats, but I've had a look back, and but it has been continuous since about October 2019. I'm sure.
November would have been when you really got into barrel rollers. That's for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I'd have a quick look now, actually.
But I think you joined in with the barrel rollers pretty much immediately, like around September.
I think it took me about a month to get into Discord, though.
Yes, I do recall having to convince you, come on, get into Discord. We need you in there. I remember.
I was like, yeah, Chris, this club, this Barrel Rollers Club, this is for exclusive members of the Barrel Rollers Discord. He's like, what the F? You guys act like you don't know me.
You guys know who I am.
Right, let's have a quick look back. Where are we going? Actually, I did start streaming in August the 8th, 2019.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just looking
That's when you started streaming?
You are new to this. Oh my goodness.
No, that's when I started streaming continuously.
Continuously.
Okay. So you've had the count
we
for
go.
some time, I imagine.
That's amazing. Like that is literally when I started streaming. Like I think I started streaming like August 6th.
Let me have a look.
It's ridiculous.
November the 11th, 2018.
2018 is when you first started.
Yeah, November 2018.
It all just came together. Like
This,
like
this
I was looking
meant
at
to be.
I was looking at Kev's stream history, stalking him, of course, getting all his privacy information. But I was looking at Kev's history as well.
I actually did.
Exactly the same. Just right at that time is when Kev really started streaming. Amazing.
It's when Kev found me, and I got in with you guys in the same time, right around August,
Just looking
September
back,
of 19.
November 16th, 2017 was the first day I ever streamed.
Now that's
First
me too.
day.
In 2016 is when I set up my account with Twitch. Fantastic.
I've had an account for a long time, but
Me
it was
too.
just to watch family members do other games.
Seems that we were ordained to come together, gentlemen.
It's crazy how quickly, boom. I mean, the four of us right here, we all met each other and became buddies. And I mean, the roller train didn't come on for some time, and we'll talk about that, but we all kind of came together that same time frame, within weeks of each other.
Very cool. Love the community as a result.
Cool. Remarkable. Chris, I thought you'd been streaming consistently. It felt like you'd been streaming consistently anyway for months. But that literally would have been the first week you were streaming consistently. Oh wow.
Yes.
I remember when we the very beginning of the rollers, and I remember hearing the name of BrothersChris, and I've seen the stream and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if he wants to be part of this. We're like a bunch of slow guys laughing and having a good time. He is like so serious and fast as hell. I don't know, does he fit here? You know what I mean? Like, will he want to be part of this? And here he is. Here he is.
He's very accepting and encouraging to all skill set levels. So, Chris, you're amazing that way.
Yeah, the contribution that Chris has made, it cannot be understated, and his enthusiasm is, as he said, it's all about community. So I actually even remember one of the first chats we had, Chris, when I think it might have been over Steam. I think you contacted me on Steam messaging, and you said, Chris was saying that
I recall that.
He loves what's happening because communities are his thing. So yeah, it's been fantastic. Yeah, I recall that we were we were sort of coalesced as the barrel rollers between sort of September and November, and we then had our first rollathon. I recall that I recall that very vividly, how we were all sort of just working out how we were doing things, and gradually we were working out, all right, who here can help with the way of it that we run the barrel rollers, and certainly it was the four of us right at the start who put our heads together and went, okay, how do we do this? And of course, we started getting more people in, like Nizchick and Buzz Buzzington and Offkey and Agassi. But I do believe it was the four of us at the core at the very start. But it wasn't until, when would you say, guys? Was it February of 2020 that we first started talking about doing the roller train sort of thing? We called it the rally train because it was all rally back then.
It was spring, and I believe it was Chris that came up with the initial concept. As I
was
recall.
just going to say the same. I
remember
Chris contacting me.
And
he goes, Kev, if you're going to stream that time every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to raid you every time.
Oh.
And I think that maybe everybody else kind of noticed that was happening, but Chris started that, and then it kind of like was born from there. That's the way I remember it.
Well, and we were all consistently streaming within our own schedules, and it was a way to sort of coordinate what we're doing, so we're not stepping on each other, and leveraging the lurkers and the viewers in our streams and trying to move forward with that. So it was a brilliant concept, Chris. Brilliant. Great way to
It
leverage
just made
what we
common
already have
sense.
going. Yep.
Communities working together. Communities working together. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm very thankful, absolutely, that Chris came forward and said, "Hey guys, you know, we should be working together and really communicating and making sure that that we you know, do the right thing for each other and for the community as well." And it took a couple of weeks, I think, to initially line things up properly and understand how we were going about it. But you know, a couple of mistakes here and there, but very quickly we saw how good it could be for us and for the community, and just aligning the schedules. I think it was fortunate that our schedules were sort of already set up to be to make it easier for us to align at that time.
Well,
anyway,
and
Yes.
we all have bandwidth that we've got some flexibility in scheduling for the most part.
Yes.
Chris obviously a little more tied, and Rain being in Australia a little more challenging for time zone constraints, but we had the flexibility to make it happen, and we still do.
yeah, and I think what I really liked about it was you know, there was that predictability. Everybody knew when we would be on, who was next. It was like programmed, a programmed sequence that everybody knew would happen at a certain time, so people could schedule either to watch or to stream appropriately around that. And you know, true to what Chris loves to do, it was huge in strengthening the community, the bonds that we had with each other. You know, one, working together, and two, the people who were watching us, hanging out with us. You know, that we would carry over from stream to stream to stream, and you know, things that started with Chris's stream could carry over all the way through to the 4 streams to my stream.
And with the common thread of promoting our community throughout the events within our community, I mean, it's an amazing flow.
Yes, indeed.
I think it's helped build the community immensely as well, because a lot of people can relate to us quite easily, the roller train, and also, I think, yeah, it does. It just brings people together a lot easier than doing it other ways.
It's exciting. It's an incentive to join the community and be part of the community and be part of the events in the community. I mean, not everybody's a streamer who joins the community, and some are. And so there's many reasons, all of them influenced by the roller train, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was a good way of you know, solidifying stuff that we'd sort of already been doing in the past. You know, we had the roller fun, which was like a really condensed, you know, intense form of a roller train. That kind of thing is definitely not something you can do and sustain over a long period of time. You know, that amount of coordination and that intensity level. But you know, from the start of the barrel rollers, you know, we had been always about, you know, the community raiding into another community stream and trying to keep people together. It actually from foundation of the rollers, you know, late August, early September. That's actually almost half a year before
Roller
we
trips.
organized in such a manner. But I think it has set a good example as well, to the rest of the community, and we are structuring. We are slowly getting some structure into the Tuesdays and Fridays. We've got people like Fireball, Buzz Buzzington, Niz Chick, Fusion John, and N42 BMW who form into a train on those days as well. I think it's good for us to try to schedule with each other as much as we can, but scheduling is tough. It is a commitment.
There's a lot of hours, or not enough hours in the day, and a lot of streamers out there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
indeed,
Sure.
indeed. But yes, it is good for us to take turns, and I actually like having a set sort of period of time, a start and finish time as well. I think it helps the stream to be focused on a specific thing. Choosing what goes in and what doesn't go into a stream, I think is a big thing as well. I think it's also been really influential on our clubs, our community clubs, especially as more and more clubs have been created. Yes, so I recall at the start we only had a handful of clubs, a literal handful of clubs, maybe 4 or 5 clubs. So it was sort of okay for them to be 12, 10 stages long. It was okay if you spent half of your stream almost running the one club. But as more clubs were created, with a fixed amount of time in a stream, we had to be a lot more selective about what clubs we were running, and so we actually started reducing the length of our clubs, and I feel that has really persisted through to this day, and it helps us get through all the clubs, I think, on a weekly basis.
it makes for an entertaining stream. There's variety within the streams.
Yeah, more
You've
variety.
got clubs that have 3 stages up to 6 stages. Obviously, we still have some 12-stage clubs out there, but it allows you to jump into different car classes,
Yes.
experiment with your different knobs in your rig, and move forward.
And the buttons.
And the buttons, yeah, and it makes for a very entertaining stream, if you ask me. I mean, each one of you has a specific car class you love and you excel in, and each one of you has one that you don't excel in. And we get to see all of that live. It's really entertaining.
Yeah, I think another thing that that has been hugely a huge benefit we've received out of the roller train is all of the things we've learnt about streaming in general and about Twitch, especially as we were starting to get towards potentially having a partner, chasing the partnership achievements. We learnt about lurking. That is a huge thing. Because I think the majority, and I think you'll see streamers like YouTubers like Devon Nash and Harris Heller, they'll talk about how the vast majority of views on Twitch are lurking. Right, this is not exclusive to smaller streams. The larger streams, you imagine there's a stream that has 20,000 people watching. You're not having 20,000 people actively typing in chat. We all know how many people it takes before chat becomes unmanageable, and that number is more like 30 on 20, 30 active chatters in your stream. Impossible, absolutely impossible to really catch everything. And while you go to these big streams and you just see chat flying, that's still not 20,000, 30,000 people chatting at the one time. But yes, all of the things about how do you lurk and have it count, right, as a view.
We learned about raids and how they impact your viewer count.
That is huge.
And and trying to educate viewers in helping us achieve those metrics. Again, without analyzing sort of the way that our streams flowed and the data that came out of those streams, Rain, thank you for that. We wouldn't have a leg up in terms of sort of a way to approach the roller train and how to make our streams effective and count.
Indeed. There are all of these things like how do you make your view count when you're watching on a PC, that you need some volume in Twitch, but you can only have a maximum of 3 tabs open. And then there's rating, host views, and multi-stream, all of these things. How does it count? When does it not count? All of these things we discovered because we were putting our focus on the roller train, on how does the path to partner sort of work. That has been huge, and that's knowledge that we're then able to share outwards to the community, so that people in the community can know how do we make these things work. I remember that there were some initial things that were rough with a roller train. Particularly things like initially people realized that on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, but after Chris would raid into Kev, and there'd be no chance that Chris would raid anywhere else, and likewise that Kev would raid into Wolvie and Wolvie into myself. Initially, I remember there was some friction that caused some friction, because people were like, well, there's no chance of a raid there, but then there was that, well, it's predictable, at least it's open, everybody knows where the raid's going to go, and everybody knows that, say, at the very end, the stream could, the next raid could go to any stream, and it was fair that we were taking turns, and that we were doing this in order to try to achieve something. We're doing this 3 times a week, but there were plenty of other times that that streamers could be on and could get raids. So yeah, there definitely were some pros and cons with the approach, but I think overall it is a very positive and transparent sort of thing to have a schedule like this, and to be open about what we're doing and why.
And transparency is the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
As long as we're transparent.
It's kind of morphed from the initial concept of working together for the push to partner, whichever one of us could achieve those metrics first. But it's sort of morphed into more of a sort of a promotion for the community.
Yes.
And into creation of events within the community. So it's become so much more than the original concept.
Exactly.
And the sort of the evolution of that has been fascinating to watch. From my perspective, as an old guy looking at Discord and watching the comments fly by, and the concepts, the ideas, the trials and errors that we've done, it's been huge, and I foresee that this will continue, obviously, especially with the leverage of the train focusing on community.
One thing that another thing that the roller train has really helped us with is to try to maintain a top position in the Dirt Rally 2 category on Twitch. So if somebody's just browsing into Dirt Rally 2, whoever's whichever streamer the roller train has stopped on is very likely, not guaranteed, but very likely to be at the top of the category. I mean, sometimes you have your odd Mikasalo suddenly appearing and dominating the charts, but for the most part, we'll be in the top 3 at least. And so when you have a random person just going, okay, what's happening in this category? We head over to Dirt Rally 2. They should see one of the rollers, whoever the roller train's on, right up the top, right? And it increases that chance of somebody jumping on and having a look and what's this about. And if this person was likely is representing the barrel rollers, then that increases our visibility, the visibility of the community to Twitch, and it helps us grow. It helps us reach more and more people. And as Wolvie was saying, you know, for promoting our events, when we have events on, it helps with that reach. So, you know, I do want to say thank you to everybody who helps out with the roller train, helps keep us up there, because, you know, this is a community effort. It really is.
Without the community, this would not exist right now.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
We're acutely aware of that, and we need to keep that in mind and continue to build that community, and bring other streamers along, you know, should they desire to do so.
Hey, Chris?
Yeah, don't forget, not every game has communities like ours as well. I think our communities can be quite unique in certain ways as well. In my opinion, anyway.
I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I love the flow. I mean, from Chris's stream right through to Rain. If we have an event that we're focused on, that's a 12-hour promotion. Bottom line, it's straight on through with a variety of entertainment from different characters within that train. I just wish there was more time in the day so we could squeeze more rollers into that train. And we played with shortening the streams, but obviously we've discovered that 2 hours is not quite enough in the Dirt Rally format. And 3 hours is probably just about right.
3 hours is a sweet spot, I think.
When you look at it in that aspect and trying to stream with the schedule that we've got, there's only so much space, only so much room in there. So you know, hopefully we're not stepping on other toes out there. I don't think we are. I think that many other rollers stream concurrently when we're on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And as a result of our community gathering around this, many of our followers will lurk on multiple streams during the day. So we're not necessarily taking away or competing with other viewers or other streamers within our community, but certainly I think enhancing their ability to bring in viewers and follows.
It also gives
go ahead.
Also gives viewers another choice as well, doesn't it? As well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially within the community.
Absolutely, and with a way of it, you know, we do raid into each other and keep that community together. We you know, when I go to sleep at night, I leave my PC on. I've got my triple tabs open, and I try to be on as many streamers as possible. Quite often I wake up and get to my PC and have a look, and all my tabs have ended up on the same person because it all just it coalesces. So
yep, that's a frequent occurrence with me as well. And if sometimes at night when I set up those tabs out in the garage, I'll end up with some random streamers I've never seen or met before, which is an amazing process as well. And some of them, you know, are worthy of a follow, certainly. Variety indeed. Sort of the future of the train, I suppose, is worthy of discussion.
Future of a train?
Obviously, our game scope can't strictly rely on Dirt Rally. So we'll move forward, obviously, with game trends, hopefully, as they fit our community.
Indeed, and you know, we talked in the past about how we've been, you know, looking to incorporate other games into the roller train, but one of the things that I feel we commit to with a roller train is trying to be consistent and have a consistent flow through the roller train. So I recall that there was one day we tried to do WRC 9, and that went great for Kev, I remember.
Yeah,
if I recall. It
Best stream ever.
Though I think, Kev, you needed to have changed your category from WRC 9 to technical help and troubleshooting, perhaps.
Yeah. And as it turns out, I'm not blaming that game. I think that I've had that same issue with another game now, and I feel like there's something hidden in the cracks with my computer that doesn't like certain things, and I can't figure out what it is. So I'm not going to blame that game anymore. I did at the time, but now it's me.
The variety is certainly critical, I think, to the health and growth of the community. As much as we all love our rigs and we love Dirt Rally 2, it cannot be sustainable. So we have to be flexible. We have to be able to move forward and do other things. And I think we're doing that. We're exploring other racing sims.
So what have we done so far since, in terms of variety? We've done the Euro Truck Simulator 2 and American Truck Simulator, and we'll do that. And again, that's we take the opportunity to try to promote our trucking convoys, which are on the day after. And I think on every occasion that we have done this, we've had people go, "Oh wow, you're running a convoy, I'll join," or even on Friday just past, because we're recording this the day after our recent ATS convoy. On the Friday, I recall, because we were doing the roller train with American Truck, and we had some of our regulars dropping in. We were saying, "Hey, do you want to join us in this convoy?" And we were having people saying, "Oh, look, I don't have American Truck. I've only got Euro Truck." And we were then able to say, "Hey, well, it's on sale right now, 75% off." And the number of people who then immediately grabbed it, downloaded it, and then we said, "Oh, you need to play 2 hours." "All right, I'm jumping on now. I'm getting my 2 hours done."
Shining example of the influence of the barrel rollers, the community as a whole.
Yeah, you know, it's that appeal of you know, being part of a good group of people and having a good time, enjoying your sim rigs, but having the roller train. I mean, we posted this on Discord. We put it on our Steam group. You know, we tried to let people know that it was happening, but the most effective, sometimes the most effective thing seems to be during our streams, and having the roller train being something that the community coalesces around. It helps us to get that message out. It helps us to keep the community together, and I think that really shows how important the roller train is to what we do as the barrel rollers.
And it's not any game that we can pull in. No. We have to be very careful about that selection and make sure that it's something that we can all you know, equally stream with an entertainment value, and which again, Dirt Rally lends itself to this perfectly. You know, shooter games maybe not so much, circuit games maybe not so much for the roller train. So you know, hopefully we'll have some more games similar to Dirt in the future that we can leverage and carry on.
Indeed. Have we tried anything else?
ACC, AC.
I don't think we've tried ACC, and
well, not on the variety streams. You're referring to the variety streams, right? No, we haven't.
Did we ever do Rec? Did anybody ever do Wreckfest? I know, Wolve, you talked about it, but I don't think you actually did.
I never did. No, I never did. We've done obviously some community events surrounding Wreckfest, but I don't think we've ever actually streamed it. And again, those multiplayer lobby games are a huge attraction on our roller train. I mean, if somebody is out there and feels like they want to game with us and they can jump into a lobby, boom. So Wreckfest is an example of a game where you can get immediate participation even from the folks hanging in your stream.
For me, roller train, when I stream to a roller train, I sort of feel like, and even though this is generally my streams, I think you guys are similar. I sort of feel like when I'm streaming roller train, I need to be very conscious of interacting with a community, because a lot of the community uses this as a primary interaction method they have with the rest of the community. So I want to make sure that I'm hearing what people are saying. I want to make sure that I can get the right message across. I can provide the answers. So, you know, a circuit racing game where there are so much demand of your attention to the actual gaming, for me, it'd be tough for me to run.
Yeah, it's not a good fit for sort of what we're doing currently with the roller train, and so it's critical that we choose appropriate games where we can still maintain interaction with our audience and yet provide some entertainment. So it's the future is bright, but mostly unseen at this point, I think.
Yeah, we keep looking forward, keep hunting for more things we can integrate that would be a good fit for the roller train.
I'm excited about Automobilista and some social events coming up there. And
social events could be good.
Yeah, potentially maybe get BeamNG in there with some built cars. Those could be some potential roller train sessions if we can coordinate a sort of an entertaining path with that. You guys have been working on that and discussing it.
Yep, been working on that. And I hit a stalling point, though I believe I've pushed past that now. So that could be a nice one for our future. And maybe something that will be happening sooner rather than later. But for now, of course, you know, Dirt Rally 2 is still immensely rewarding to continue to try to master.
It's huge. I don't think there's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday that goes by without having a new follower come into one of our channels immediately asking questions about what wheel should I get, what is the best thing to do, how do you do this, how can I join a club. I love it because these people come in, get that information, and almost immediately join the Discord, and they're enthusiastic and they're wanting to jump in and have fun. And of course, Dirt Rally 2 is now to a point where it's affordable, right? For the most part, its base price is dirt cheap. When it goes on sale, it's even cheaper. And so it's very accessible for a lot of new folks right now. And again, leverage of our train. We can help folks like that jump in and have some fun.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to Chris for joining us today. Kev, thank you. Wolvie, thank you. And to everybody who listened or watched, if it's on YouTube, Spotify, if it's on iTunes, or if it's on the Barrel Rollers website. Thank you for listening. If you're new to all of this and you somehow made it through to the end and you'd like to join in with what we do, which probably we didn't explain amazingly well to new people, we do have a Discord. You can catch us all on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/BrothersChris or /Wolve3591 or /KasualKevTV or myself /RaindancerAU. Come say hello, and we can let you know how to join in on all the fantastic activities that we run. But until then, thank you very much. We'll be endeavoring to have another podcast out as soon as possible. We're getting better at this every time. and we have a lot of topics in our backlog to cover. So no shortage of content coming from us. But until then, bye for now, and
Thanks everybody for listening. See you on the roller train.
Nice.
Again, I can't thank you all enough for taking the time to listen to the podcast and for working with our community. And we look forward to many more new friends in our community and more exciting events. And I would just say on the party note, Christmas is coming up, guys. It's that time of year to be generous, to be kind. And so please do that. Be kind to your fellow streamers as well as fellow humans, including Chris.
Okay, thanks for everybody for joining the podcast. And if you listen to the end, congratulations, thank you. Because obviously my voice is not the right one to listen to, being from Yorkshire. Thank you, and catch you next time. And always think, do everything faster, except life and sex. Faster, faster, faster.
Well, sometimes sex faster is appropriate.
Maybe so.